Well, hello there, and this is Auntie, and I am here to do my review of Life After Lockup or Love After Lockup, Season 3, Episode 10 and 11. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for joining the family, and to all of my nieces and nephews who have been here with me for the long haul. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Y'all, if I had to rate these episodes of Life After Lockup, I would really rate these suckers like a B. I think that they are fulfilling for those of us who have been watching the journey of these mofos for a while. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it. We're going to go ahead and get into it. So the first couple that I want to talk about is Lamar and Andrea. As we all know, there was a lottery or a drawing that was done, a vote, if you will, of where they was going to live. So they decided that, the vote was 3-2 for Los Angeles. And so they are all living out in Los Angeles. And Andrea is having a hard time making the adjustment, right? So she wants to continue to live this Mormon religion. However, she can't help, but um, act like a ghetto chick. I mean, I think that in Los Angeles, she's just right at home. I mean, she's cursing, doing everything else that she can do. And, but she still wants to raise her children in this Mormon religion. So we watched as, she has had her husband on the sofa, okay, which the Bible talks about not forsaking yourselves from your husband and all that kind of stuff. So I guess she follows the Bible to the extent that she feels like it, right? So we saw that Lamar took a Tennyson out, with him for the day, and they went over to Dulo's house, right? Dulo is Lamar's brother. So they went out to Dulo's house, and Dulo was kicking the bobo and kicking him some wisdom and, just talking like men talk and all of that kind of stuff. And so he offered him some weed. And so, of course, Tennyson was like, even though I didn't take the weed, I ain't smoked the weed. I mean, I smelled the weed, and I got a contact off the weed, but I didn't smoke the weed. I'm going to have to tell my mother that, I was around weed and that Dulo had offered me some weed. And, I'm going to have to, basically throw Lamar up underneath the bus. So in episode 11, we see them, having a family cookout or whatever it is. They all sitting outside. And of course, Andrea is trying to keep up this facade that she is this Mormon woman. And so they're all sitting outside, and she's saying that if they don't say their grace, that this is going to cause them to, break out with hives of the COVID. And so, of course, the kids is like, Mom, it don't work that way. And so she is talking right now about Priscilla, the little girl, being baptized. And so Lamar is, of course, we all know that he's not really feeling the Mormon religion. He's already told her that he wasn't doing it in Utah, and he damn sure ain't going to do it in LA. But he does believe in, Christianity as a whole. So some of the stuff he can go with, some of the stuff he can't. So they, while they're sitting there and they're having dinner and everything, the situation comes up with Tennyson, being offered the weed. So of course now, Andrea, the Christian Mormon woman that she is using the MF word and dropping F bombs and all kinds of stuff with Lamar. She is, saying that, he was irresponsible as a parent for having Tennyson around now. But at the end of the day, this ain't the first time that he's been offered weed, and it's not the last time. The daughter seems to be the voice of reason between between this couple. And of course, Andrea gets up and she throws food at the table and she walks away. Um, Lamar is telling her that she is going to have to trust him in this relationship, and that she cannot. Um, that Tennyson actually spoke up for herself, and that he talked to Dulo about it and told Dulo, man, you can't be offering him that. But Tennyson stood up for himself and was like, this isn't in life. Not that Tennyson wasn't, probably tempted by the weed, okay, because I'm sure probably was some good weed. But he was, he was able to withstand. But the thing about it is, Lamar's family should not be offering that boy no weed like that, okay? So, Andrea, the next day we see Lamar wake up and he's on the sofa, and he's upset about, being on the sofa and everything. So the daughter comes in and she's like, okay, you out here on the sofa, you been sleeping. He was like, I was tossing and turning. We know daggone well that Andrea did not have Lamar out there on that sofa. Okay? Ain't no way in the world. As much as this woman loves this man, Lamar Boo was not on no sofa. But okay, we're gonna go along with the storyline, right? So they out there, so he's out there on the sofa, and the two of them begin to talk, and she tells him that, he has to work this situation out. And, she said that mom was mad at me too, and he said, so why you ain't on the sofa? But okay. Why you not on the sofa? And so she's like, he said, we got to parent together. So Andrea gets up and everything. Her hair is done, and we just don't believe that she just woke up. But anyway, we're going to play along with the story. She goes into the kitchen and she tells Lamar that she's still mad with him, but that she is more important to her than ever to make sure that their daughter Priscilla is baptized. She says that since her son Tennyson is a minister in the Gospel of Mormon, I guess. He'll be able to do it in a swimming pool. And so she said, as long as they sanctify the water, then, the baptism is sanctified. And I guess this is their way of doing what they have to do based on COVID. So, anyway, that is what happened with that particular couple in this week's episode and last week's episode. I think that Andrea and Lamar have a very good relationship. I think that most of the stuff that we're seeing is for the camera, but we're here for it, damn it. We are absolutely here for it. The next couple that I want to talk about is Shane and Lacey. Lacey. Of course, we know the two of them have gotten back together and they have been talking about doing in vitro. She said that she is ready to have a family with him and all of that kind of stuff. We see him back in the house, and she's saying that her family is back together. She's talking to her girlfriend on the phone about, some things that she had done, some feminine things that she had done. And because of that, she's now going to have to do this in vitro in order to get pregnant by Shane. But I'm telling you right now, when I looked at her, her stomach looked like it was already pregnant. Now I don't know if that's because of the hormones that she may have had to take in order to get her body prepared to take the embryos or whatever. There's a lot of people who are doing this and have had great success. And so we see, him playing with the kids and all of that kind of stuff. And so the two of them, are just like, I guess they're supposed to be this happy family. Now that her old boo is locked up, she got him locked up at the club, allegedly. So anyway, the two of them are talking about that. We see them, Shane wake up on the day that she's supposed to have these, her embryos placed inside of her. And he said that he can't go in with her because of COVID. And then she gets the procedure done and she has two embryos. And so they're excited. She said that the doctor said that there's a high likelihood that she will be having twins out of this relationship or out of this, just this appointment, that they're probably going to end up having twins. Shane is talking about, whether or not he feels like he's really ready to be a dad. He said he wants a big family. So I'm sure that, he's kind of up and down with the situation. I'm hoping that it lasts. I did a video, I think maybe about a couple of months ago here on this channel where I indicated that Lacey is indeed pregnant. And so that was revealed prior to this episode coming out. So congratulations to the two of them. I hope that she can remain faithful after she has the baby. She says that, now that, boyfriend John, now that she's pregnant, he's a figment of her imagination and somebody in her past. Bitch, we don't believe that for 1 minute. I don't believe that for one daggone minute, okay? But anyway, this is her This is what she's saying, and this is what I guess we're supposed to believe at this point, but whatever. The next couple that I want to talk about is Angela and Tony. As we all know, Tony has been kicked out of the house because he had one prostitute too many. He was, definitely hanging down at the prostitutorial building and i.e. motel, whatever, motel, hotel, Holiday Inn. And Tony has, cheated on Angela for the last time. And so he comes to the house. Of course, he has 2 cartons of cigarettes and he wants Angela to take him back. And Angela's like, it's not going to work. Tony said if he could just touch her, feel a rubber, hug her, if he could just make any kind of skin to skin contact with her, she is going to be putty in his hands. And so Angela makes sure that she does not make any type of contact with Tony whatsoever. And then we find out that Angela has been cheating on Tony just as much as Tony has been cheating on her. Yes, boo, Angela has a boyfriend named Ross who she was going to go and see. She was seeing in jail every weekend until he was transferred to Indiana. And so Angela, who has been getting on Tony and talking about Tony and mad with Tony because he had been having physical cheating, had been emotionally cheating on Tony the whole time. So of course she runs Tony up out of there, right, and tells Tony, you get the hell up out of here, Tony. Tony, get on out of here. Okay. She did not take the cartons of cigarettes from him whatsoever, but she wants to. She was, I'm sure she was tempted like a mofo, but the way she's smoking, she got a whole barn full of them bitches, okay? But anyway, so we find out that she's been cheating with this guy named Ross, who was incarcerated, and she, although she really loved Ross, she said that, she really wanted to be physical with Tony. Well, look what that got her. When Angela was sitting up there and fussing with Tony about, the relationship and about him not coming back, Angela disclosed to Tony that she had never went and filed the marriage certificate and that they're not even officially married. And so Tony is like, yes, we are, because Tony is tired of staying down at the prostitutorial hotel by himself, okay? He says that he missed Angela, he missed the money, he missed the smoke, he missed the food, he missed all of that kind of stuff. He just doesn't miss cheating. And so Tony said, we are still married. He does not want to not be married to Angela because he has an advantage when he's married to Angela. But right now, Angela is sitting at her laptop, bitch, typing up stuff to Ross, okay, because she, and then she doesn't want to hit the send button, okay? She faking with us like she don't want to hit the send button, but bitch, we know she hits the send button. Angela mentioned when she ended up Skyping with Ross, right? She mentioned that she was weak, emotionally, and she could be very easily emotionally manipulated because she has no control over her emotions. The next thing we know, we see Mofo. What in the hell is his daggone name? I can't think of what his name is, but the boo boo that been around the whole time. Thomas, Tony, whatever his damn name is. Tommy, I think it is. He done came over to the house because he got a gift for Angela and he got a gift for Tony, but he doesn't realize that Tony is not living up in the mofo house anymore, right? So are y'all giving me the name? Tommy, okay? Thank you, y'all. So Tommy comes up there, he got a little box and everything. He said, I got a gift for y'all. So Angela was like, well, Tony ain't here anymore. And I'm thinking to myself, then why this bitch coming over there during the middle of COVID? Okay, if Tony can't come, why Tommy get to come? But anyway, I digress. She opens up the box and everything, and bitch, it's a clock. I don't know what kind of clock that was, what kind of hodgepodgey failed DIY project that daggone clock was. But I was like, what the hell is this? Okay. It was a hodgepodge of books. And maybe she liked it. But I'm telling you right now, I just would have been like, okay, wait a minute, what? Okay, I got to raise my standards, bitch, if you think that this is something that is, appealing to me or acceptable for me to even take, right? So of course, she's thankful for it and all that kind of stuff. Bitch, I don't know if I don't know what that was, but Angela is appreciative of it, and she begins to tell Tommy that she's been dating this guy named Ross, that she was dating him and Tony at the same time, and that, she basically really wants to be with Ross. So Tommy was sitting there and he was like, damn, I guess I gotta go to jail in order to be with you. And so Angela was like, what you mean? Because that's all she dates. She dates individuals who's in jail. Angela is emotionally and physically lonely, right? And so this is her excuse for going back to Ross. Plus, Tony, she doesn't trust Tony, but really, she's just got Tony hanging along because at the end of the day, Angela is just absolutely head over heels in love with Tony. She just hurt right now for a couple of weeks until she get to ride on. She's one of those type of women that's making an excuse to, of being mad at Tony to really go and see Ross. But she knows that's exactly what she wants to do anyway, right? So she sits on the phone and she's talking to Ross and she's telling Ross that she misses him, that she's been reading his prison letters. She said the reason why she, other than wanting to be physical with Tony, she said the other reason why she decided to go to Tony and not to Ross is because she had sent him some pictures and stuff. She said one of them was inappropriate than a motherfucker. She said it was inappropriate than a motherfucker. So when he said something about the damn inappropriate picture and he did not, she felt like he didn't appreciate the naked picture or whatever she probably sent him. She got mad at him and then went to Tony, but now she wants to be with him. He said, look, you fly your ass on out here to Indiana and I'm going to tell you right, we going to be in the trailer. We can be in a park. We can be in a Exxon bathroom, bitch. We could be, on the camping grounds. We can go to a hotel, a motel, a holiday friend. I mean, Holiday Inn. Like he doesn't. It doesn't make a difference to him. He just wants to be with her. And so when she thinks of just the very thought of being with him physically, Angela begins to cry and talk about, I'm emotional. I'm emotional. No, that's all that smoke blowing up in your eye, okay? But Angela is absolutely a hot tail mess. And so she's been messing around with Tony the whole entire time. And then, it is just almost like the pot calling the kettle black, bitch. And I'm just like, Angela, are you come on, Angela. Skirt, stop it with the bullshit. Okay, the next couple that I want to talk about is Marcelino and Brittany. Of course, we know that Brittany has, convinced her mother and her sister to move to Vegas to be with them so that they can, start their life back over and have more opportunities. And Brittany has been allowing her mother to stay in the house. Of course, she has all these children now. And so, she thought it would be a good idea to allow the woman who did not take care of her to take care of her children. She thought it was a good idea to allow the woman who did not take care of her to take care of her children. She honestly looked her mother in the face, as gray as her mother looked, as ashen as the bitch is. Okay? Haggard, worn down, and taggart bitch. Okay? She thought that this woman was literally not drinking anymore and off drugs. And she allowed this woman to come up in her house. She said that Marcelino had told her mother either it's going to be drugs and alcohol or it's going to be the kids. The mother said, bitch, it's going to be both. I'm just going to play y'all until I fall off the damn wagon enough for y'all to recognize that I'm playing y'all and I'm doing both. Why the hell would Brittany, thinking that she's reconciling with her mother, not think that her mother is not still in the same condition that she left her mother off in? Here you got your mother never took care of you a day in your life. You run away from home and you come back and your mother just fucking gone and don't say nothing. And this is the woman that you want around your damn grandkids. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, reconciliation is one thing, but being a fool is another. And I don't care whether or not I reconcile my relationship back with you. I'd be goddamn if I'm going to leave my house and allow you to be sitting up in there babysitting my kids for one damn hour. There's no way. Her and Marcelino went on a date, right? and she left the mother with this. So the next thing you know, we see her, come back up in the house, and the daughter is, and the sister is sitting in there. And she's like, "Where's mom?" And she was like, "Mom gone. Plus, mom, scrapping that dapper to my bank account, and I ain't got but $50 left up in that motherfucker." Now the daughter never really said how much was in there from the giddy up. Might have just been like $75, but whatever the case, the mother took money about that joint. So of course, Brittany is off the hook now. She mad at in a mofo. She don't understand. Let me see. Ouch. God dang it, that hurt. Okay, y'all. I just saw a long thing and I was just like, okay. So, Brittany is basically, like she trusted her mother. Now somebody said something about the remodeling of her house and doing her yard and stuff like that, and saying that she's ungrateful. But you know what? Let me tell you, I was having work and stuff done in my house during COVID, and I'm still having work done in my house, which is why you all have not been seeing me, because I've been balancing so many things. I don't think that Brittany is ungrateful about it. I think that you get frustrated. She did just have a baby. She got a whole lot of stuff going on, and so when you put yourself in another MF shoes, then you kind of understand about it. But that's your opinion, and you entitled to it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I've got a lot of stuff going on. I still got to get gutters and some more stuff done on my house, and it is trying. And you know what I'm saying? I brought my house. My house is, so many thousands of square feet, and you think you got enough room, and I'm getting ready to convert my damn garage over. So you think that it's enough room until you get up in the mofo, and then you realize that it just ain't enough room. I mean, I need additional room. I want an additional bathroom in my home. I mean, so it is what it is. You think it until you get in it, and then you realize it's just not enough room. And plus, I don't have enough storage in my house. Somebody else will look at my house and be like, "Bitch, you got a big old huge house or whatever." But my house isn't huge compared to some of my friends. But anyway, I digress. I'm gonna get up off of that. But I did want to, since you typed up all of that kind of stuff, I wanted to make sure that I addressed you, boo. But anyway, so Brittany, and the door and the sister get in the car and they ride over and they get to the apartment and everything, and Mama is stone cold high than Cootie Brown. And I was gonna make fun. I was gonna, put a little thing on my thing. But then when I thought about it, I was like, this is a serious situation. A lot of people are probably dealing with this, especially during COVID. The mother, probably been in the house and depressed and looking at the news. And not only were we dealing with COVID, we were also dealing with Black Lives Matters and All Lives Matters and all kinds of bull crap. And then we got, somebody acting a cotton freaking fool. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of stuff going on. So I can understand that not only her mother, but probably a lot of people have fallen back into their addictions, because time in life has been hard right now, right? So I can't even be mad that the mother fell off, but I can be angry at Brittany, because Brittany, when I'm looking at you and I'm looking at Marcelino always had his left eye open on your mother. And you really should have known that, more care and consideration should have been given to the circumstance. And you should have definitely had both eyes wide open with your mother. Now, the mother doesn't have a right to steal any money, but I've dealt with drug addiction before. I know how drug addicts are. I know what they do. And when she got there, she was like, "I'm moving my sister Nicole's stuff over to my house, and we're gonna leave you." And the mother didn't give a damn. The mother, basically, it was just twisted. Like couldn't even realize that when she had the pack of cigarette, the empty cap pack of cigarettes looking through the box for a cigarette, that the bitch had a cigarette in her hand. She didn't even realize that the damn cigarette lighter was sitting right in front of her and her nose was busted like a mofo. And it really is a sad, sad state of affairs. And while I can read the mother and make fun of the mother and get a good kiki and a giggle off of it, I would not think that it was appropriate, because I know that there are a lot of people who are suffering right now in our communities, in our families, and I absolutely want to have a sensitivity to that. And even while riding Brittany, I do understand her need and her desire to have her mother back again. But at some point, you got to smack yourself in the face and kick your own self in the ass and say, you know what, this is what it is. My mother is not going to change. She is who she is in this situation. And so it is just really, really unfortunate that Brittany is going through this with her mother. The last couple that I want to talk about is Sarah and Michael. And Michael, you talk about somebody ungrateful. He is. Maria stood in there with him in the gap with this mofo. And he went to Florida to be in Miami to be with her, and then he comes up to his mother's house and complains about her and talks about how he doesn't need her anymore, and how he on the come up and all of that kind of stuff, and how he wants to be this absent ass father, but he wants to be somebody who's recognized as daddy of the year. Bitch, give me a break. But at the same time, Sarah is going through and talking about how, she is a single mother and she's taking care of two kids. Bitch, get in line. We all have been taking care of our kids. Some of us had deadbeat dads. Some of us didn't have daddies at all. Some bitches didn't even know who the baby daddy was, and they raised the baby by themselves. You're not the only one who's ever raised a child by yourself, but at least you have the fortitude and you have the financial ability to go and see a counselor and talk that out. And she's up in the counselor's office and she's screaming to the top of her lungs about Michael. Her whole life is wrapped around Michael. Now, we know that she's dating this dude named Malcolm. She went out and had, a little date and a little rendezvous with Malcolm. She says Malcolm comes up 4 days, and then, 3 days the bitch is at home. He lives 4 hours away, so I'm suspecting that Malcolm is from around this area, right? And so, she's going all off. Michael said he's going to the party, but he gonna go to the party when the hell he feels like it. He said ain't nobody and nothing gonna be able to keep him away from them little girls, okay? Because he is la daddy of the year. And so, they're going back and forth, and she's sitting in there with the counselor and talking about how Michael got his scot free and Michael could walk back. See, she had talked to Michael about this birthday party. She was, trying to be, trying to fake like she did not want Michael to come at first by withholding the information about the party. But all of us know that really basically she wants to be with Michael. Michael had already propositioned her and told her that, I'll come up there with the babies and then we can hang out like we always hang out. And so, this time she's a little proud of herself because she said no, but that's because she's getting her tank filled by Malcolm, okay? So she decides that she's going to bring invite Michael to the baby birthday party, finally tell him where it is, and then try to call him a couple of days out and expect him to pick up the phone to be at her damn beck and call when she giving bitches ultimatums left and right. She's giving so many ultimatums till it doesn't, it doesn't even phase him anymore, because we all know she's going to default back to the I was about to get so daggone raunchy till they would have flagged a dog come out this video. I mean, I really do want to get raunchy and get all up in her, just get all up in her. Do y'all understand me? This girl right here. You see, you playing games and you playing games with people's lives, okay? You putting Malcolm out there. Malcolm look like he a weak mofo. Now, that don't mean that he ain't carrying some heat, but he look weak, okay? And weak mofos do carry heat because that's the only way that they know how to handle a situation. You putting these two men up against each other because you don't want to be honest and tell, Michael that you got a boyfriend. You should have been told the bitch bitch that you had a boyfriend. Okay? But yet and still you going, come to the birthday party and all of that kind of stuff, and you got your family and friends and all that, and Michael ignorant. You playing games for the camera, right? And you gonna have Michael walk up in that joint and don't know you got a boyfriend, and then when he's sitting up there trying to pull the stuff out the truck, she gonna walk up to Michael and be like, wait a minute, before you pull all that stuff out, I gotta tell you something. Bitch, don't beat around the corner. Tell him I got a boyfriend. Then she gonna tell myself, well, you gonna have to meet him out here. Meet him out here for what? I'm coming up here for my kids. I ain't coming up here to meet nobody. I don't blame Michael on that. Bitch, I mean, I haven't, let me tell y'all something. All the years that I've ever dated anybody, I've never dated anybody that got kids. Bitch, I cannot deal with the kid stuff, the baby mama drama, and all of that kind of stuff. I, like, never have I ever. And with me, I've never, ever, ever brought any baby mommy drama along. No, yes, I did. I did. Yes, I did. Let me take that back. Let me take that back. I did deal with somebody who had children, but I didn't have baby mama drama, except for with one. Once she got a good lashing, that ended. So let me take that back. But outside of that, that was the only person that I ever dealt with that had children. Okay? So anyway, she wants the drama. All of them are just sitting and perpetrating the fraud because actually they want all the drama. They want the smoke up in that mofo, okay? And Malcolm is sitting there. He basically is sitting duck because he don't know how Michael gonna come up in that camp. Sarah is just, her accent is going from one thing to another. She is sitting up in the psychiatrist's office. She cooking out so bad that the damn psychiatrist said, let me tell you something, I'm about to hit this mofo panic button, bitch. Okay? Now this may look like a regular pair of glasses, but this button right here, if I push this bitch, I'm gonna have SWAT up in this. Okay, she's sitting up there like that. Okay, that thumb was like that. Then she goes out of the office, runs into the car, and then she calls Malcolm, complaining to Malcolm about Michael. You don't bring your other man in that. He ain't got nothing to do with that. The hell he got to do with that? I need you to calm me down. I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm so mad at Michael. I can't believe that Michael. I've been raising these two kids. Okay, I opened up my legs. Okay, and I didn't use any kind of protection. And I went on there. I had sex with him, and I got pregnant 2 times. Matter of fact, I had a scan a third time, but God just wasn't willing to give me another baby to bring in here into all of this damn drama. Okay, I need you to calm me down. I need you to calm me down because I'm trying to tell you right now. I said, bitch. I'm just waiting for a head to spit off. You understand what I'm saying? Because you going from one accent to another accent, bitch. You done went to North Carolina, you done went to Colorado, now your ass back in New York, okay? And then you what the? This girl got so much damn drama. It's just absolutely unbelievable. But you know what? Michael came in. Michael said, I ain't got time. She told me some hold up dude. Don't walk up in there with all my family and friends and act a mofo fool. But guess what? Michael's going to act a fool, and this is exactly what her and her little... Boy, I was going to say something about the girlfriend. I ain't trying to offend nobody, but y'all know what I was about to say about the little girlfriend. Okay, because the little girlfriend just hanging around just a little bit tough. Sarah ain't losing no damn weight. She ain't losing no weight, so it ain't like you working her out that way, but you may be working her out another way. Yeah, I got my eye, okay? I got my eye on the girlfriend because the girlfriend just a little bit too involved with what is going on, okay? And that's a for real. And that's a faux show. But anyway, that is the end of my review of Life After Lockup, Season 3, Episode 10 and 11. I'm hoping that you all enjoyed it, and I will see y'all the next time. Peace. Peace.